takeoff. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Cavu FPV for DJI Go 4 drones, and it does all sorts of things. It does a couple of things more than Litchi's app, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the app itself and go through the things it can do. Now, before you use a Litchi app or a Cavu app, you're going to need a set of goggles. So let's take a look at the ones I use. These are my FPV goggles. I got these from the pound shop for £10. Yes, I know, pound shop, £10, have a laugh. But they're quite good because they allow you to adjust the focal length and also the focal distance as well, which is you don't see on many. It's also got this little pop-off panel here, and I thought I broke it when it first came off, but there's actually a reason why this panel comes off, and I'm going to show you that in a moment when I take you through the app. So with the quad connected, plug it in, it comes up. You can only have Cavu on your phone. If you have Litchi and DJI or either one installed, Cavu for some reason doesn't seem to work. I'm not quite sure why that is. Click on OK, and we're going to launch the Cavu app. You'll notice it says Ceiling and View Unrestricted. That's what Cavu stands for. You have to wait a moment, and then eventually it should show a picture of your quad. Mine obviously shows the Mavic Pro, and then you just tap on the Go Fly, and it says the flight time is limited to 5 minutes per app start. Unlocked for $10.99, which is a good price, and I think I'm damn well going to be buying it. So let's click on the Go Fly button first of all. Now you'll see on the screen it's waiting for home lock, and you can control the gimbal pitch, as you can see, with your head. So you can tilt the camera all the way down, you can tilt it all the way back up again. Now I've actually been out in the field and had a fly with this, so what I'm going to do in a moment is I'm going to show you some footage from out in the field. But this is just the general overview of the app. You can see the various things across the top, and we're going to just see, oh, they've all disappeared. There we go, once it gets to that point. Now the other thing that I like about it is this option. If I just tilt the camera up and I press the, we'll just skip the home lock by pressing C2. Okay, it says to start motors. Now this is the thing I like the most. I'm going to just point the camera at my screen, and I'm going to click that button, the C1. Now you can now see through the app, you can see with the phone's camera, which is great if you're out in the field and someone comes around and says, oh, well, what are you doing, or how are you, or one of your friends, or whatever it is. Then at least you know you can just press a button, and rather than take the goggles off, and you can see who you're talking to, or you can see your quad, or whatever reason it is for pressing it. Back to that again, and then back to the view of the camera. Now let's just go back to the goggles, because this is the part I want to show you before. Now remember I mentioned this flap on the goggles. I'm going to just pop it off, slide out the tray, like this bit, put the phone in. You just simply lift and pull without some little rubber bungs around the outside, which will come off on mine. Pop it back into the goggles like this, and now you'll see the camera on the phone can now look out. So if you've had one of these set of goggles and you wonder what this piece was for, because I've never seen it before, Litchi doesn't do it. It's just a Cavu app, which I think is a great advantage over Litchi. Now we need to go out in the field, obviously, and we need to test it and see what it looks like. So let's have a look at some footage from out in the field. Okay, out in the field with the Cavu app. I've got the screen recorder running, and as you can see it's telling me to start the motors. But what I'm going to do first of all is just switch over to the live camera view so I can see the quad on the ground. It's going to just shut my case. It is a little bit of a weird thing looking through a camera lens, I really must admit. Okay, we're going to start the motors. We're going to put the quad up in the air. We're going to see how things work out. Obviously bear in mind that you don't have the ability to use the app in any way. You're purely relying on just the controller. I just need to look at the controller and just work out that's what I'm looking for, the record button. Is that taking pictures, or is that recording now? Well, that's record that side, sorry. There we go, recording time. So we're off now. So let's just switch now to the FPV view by pressing the C1 button. Now I can see what the app's seeing. There we go. Let's take it away from me. Take it up in the air a little bit. Okay, so the compass is showing the quad's facing forward, and it shows the home point is behind me. So that's good. It shows you which way the quad's facing and which way the home point is. So I should be able to just turn that round, and as you can see now, there I am on the ground. Use the head tracking just to move towards me. There we go, looking down. It has the, across the top you've got your battery strength, signal strength, flight time 1 hour 1 minute 11 seconds, and you've got your altitude, time flown, distance, ascent speed, battery, and speed in kilometers per hour. Obviously I don't like kilometers per hour. I'm going to see whether or not I can change that to miles per hour. Got dogs barking beneath me. Looking down. Taking it away from me. It tells me my speed at the moment is 12 kilometers per hour. It's getting a little bit windy out here today. I'm not going to do a big flight. Just going to just look around and see how things go. Let's turn back round towards myself again. Look at these people here. Try to avoid flying near the people because I don't want to fly over people. Let's just fly over this tree, go up in the air a little bit, just bring it round, and go back to where I am again. And then just bring it round towards me. You can hear the quad above me. Let's just go sideways a little bit. There you go, there's me in the shot there. Turn the quad around. Going to switch now to camera view, so I should be able to see the quad in front of me somewhere. There it is, in front of me there. And there's dogs wanting to chase the quad around. All dogs going absolutely mental. For some reason dogs don't like quads. Well, I'm actually looking at the quad now, as you can see. I can see it coming overhead now. It tells me it's within a certain distance. I've got 2 minutes 11 seconds left of flight time. Let's see where them dogs have gone to. Hopefully they've run away. Yep, they're over there, that's fine. We're going to bring the quad down. We're going to see if we can land it using the camera view as opposed to using your eye. Let's bring that down a little bit. It is really, it's quite weird actually trying to... Oh, hang on a second, we've got a dog. Can't land while there's dogs running around. Hopefully there's an owner somewhere, might go and call them over. That's okay. Switch back to live view. I'm going to look down. Can't enter at the moment until these dogs are finished. Oh, I can look up plus 30 degrees as well. That's something I didn't realise. I can actually look all the way up. I can see around me. Let's put it back to... Oh, there's the quad gone now. I'm going to take my goggles off because I am still getting used to this idea. Well, there we go. There's the quad there. So bring it down. Hopefully those dogs have disappeared. Nope, they're not disappeared. Right. We've got 44 seconds left to land this quad, and we've got a dog that doesn't seem to want to go away. I don't know what happens to the screen when I run out of the 5 minutes trial time. Is that dog gone away? See, this is a handy thing. You can see the dog, you can see the owner. There we go. Right, hopefully now we can land the quad. Bring it down. Trying to get it over the landing pad. It's a little bit of a weird perspective. Not quite knowing. I'm going to have to take my goggles off because I cannot see where the quad is properly. There we go, right. Let's land the quad down. Oh, bit of a wind blowing. Let's get down quick while the wind's blowing about. There we go. Right, stop recording. And we're back to start motors, do that. We had 1 second left of flight time. So as you say, I can now look, because I can see, I can walk up to the camera. There we go. It's great. It is a really good app. It's probably well worth the money. I need to look into what it's going to cost, and then when I've got some spare money, I will buy it. There's no lag. There's no hesitation. I mean, I didn't go far out. I mean, that's the that's a fact. But just for general bobbing around and FPV use, yeah, I think it's a really good app. In fact, I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. So I mentioned when I was out in the field I couldn't work out how to change kilometres per hour and miles per hour, and because I didn't read the help menu basically. Now across the top we'll go through the icons, and in here we'll find out what we need to do. Okay, the first icon, pressing the X, simply takes you back to the Go Fly screen. The next one across is for Bluetooth. If you've got a Bluetooth controller, tap on that and you can use the Bluetooth controller. We'll have a look at the instructions in a moment and we'll find out what the Bluetooth controller is for. The next one, this little icon here, is for if your smartphone doesn't automatically rotate the screen when it's in your goggles. They've found out that some do and they found out that some don't. So they've given the option there to rotate the screen. Next one is your HD feed. If you tap it, you'll get a HD feed. If you tap it again, the HD feed goes off. Little head next to that one is for camera tilt control through your head. So if you tilt your camera up and if you tilt your head up and down, the camera moves up and down. If you don't like that, prefer to use the scroll wheel, you can turn that off. Now the next one across is the one where you can change it between kilometers per hour and miles per hour, which is really good. We'll leave it on miles per hour because that's what I like to use. The next button across allows you to move the displays. Now these are the little ones underneath. As you can see, I can drag them up and I can put them wherever I like on the screen. Never found an app yet that allows you to do that. Across from that one, which is currently greyed out, is we're going to tap on the picture-in-picture. That gives me a view through the camera and in the FPV app, and obviously I can switch those over with the C1 controller. In fact, let's go out to the field and let's see what that looks like in real time. Here I am out in the field, and as you can see, I'm showing the main FPV screen, and the picture-in-picture is what the camera is showing. The only, obviously, the only small problem is if you look up at the sky, then the Mavic also looks up as well. Let's switch over now to the camera as the main view. So you can now walk back and I can see all the people on the field around me. But I can still see what the quad's seeing in the picture-in-picture. So that's the picture-in-picture mode. I think it works really well. Let's just tap off that one for a second, turn that off. Now you'll notice the little icon between the picture move there is greyed out. If we tap on the picture-in-picture icon again, you'll now see it's lit up. And that means if I tap on there, I can drag the picture-in-picture to wherever I want it to be. I can put it dead centre, I can put it down the bottom, I can put it to the right, to the left. So that's what that little icon's for. Next one across, let's just turn picture-in-picture off for a second. Next one across is this little icon here, and if I tap on that, now I can move the video screens up and down, there we go, just in case it's not quite right. You can get that level with your goggles as well. And turn that one off. Lock them in place. This little icon here allows you to drag left and right to change your eye distance. Hey, that's rather clever as well. So not only, if you haven't got the goggles that allow you to adjust the field of view, you can actually use this to read the screens apart. That's really clever. And the last icon takes us into basically just the standard app version, and again you've still got all the controls up the side of the screen. Now obviously you're wondering, well, if they're there all the time, isn't that going to be distracting? Well, that is where your proximity sensor comes in, because if you go into FPV mode and I cover the proximity sensor, you'll see they disappear just like magic. That's rather good. So that's all the various little icons across the top. So let's come out of there, and what we'll do is we'll go into the help section. And it is, I've had a look through, it is quite extensive, and it is worth reading through if what I've said in this video doesn't quite make sense. Tells you what's needed, what we're recommending, goes through to where to download, what's new, app language translation, who are we, what's our mission, how to start the app, permissions on Android 6, the main menu, Potential USB connection problems. If you're one of those people who has tapped the always use this app with your DJI Go, for instance, this tells you here how to actually come out of that. And it says, if the message system UI has stopped, this is the result of a bug in the Android 6 operating system. In this case, none of the DJI apps will work anymore, and they did experience a problem with the LG G4 smartphone, so be warned. The only solution in this case, I've installed Max 1 DJI compatible app. I found that if I have DJI Go or Litchi installed, I can't get the Cavu app to work for me. It just sits there saying please wait. I'm hoping to get a beta version through shortly, so I will do an update to this video as and when I get that through. So you've got VR mode, go fly, and you've got on-screen help tutorials, tells you what you need to do. Configuration menu we've just been through across the top or down the side. Control the gimbal movement, we covered that. Now I know you're going to ask, can you control the yaw with the Mavic? And it basically says no. Although it works with the P4 range, it doesn't work with the Mavic. The Mavic does work with the DJI goggles, but they say they are currently trying to contact DJI to find out why they can't have it with their apps. It tells you how to set a sensor point if you are going to use your head tracking on the P4. HD video we covered. Switch off VR goggle mode we covered. Show live view of the drone, which we covered actually in the video out in the field. Switch between drone view and ground view, again we covered that in the field. Picture in picture, we covered that previously as I showed you. Zoom the smartphone and view and toggle focus, again you can do all that. Flight data displays, signal strengths. Now at the moment there is a slight bug with the RC not showing the correct value. Your RC battery shows as the value it was when the app was first connected. I've spoken to the development team and they are looking into that, and I do believe they've got a fix for it in a beta test, so that will be get fixed shortly. Height, distance and speed you've seen, flight time and battery status, all the regular things, home drone location, photo and video recording state, in any important messages, how to take photographs, record videos. There's that Bluetooth game controller. I see, you can use this with the Phantom 3 standard, and obviously it doesn't have all the additional buttons the Mavic has or the Phantom 4 has. So basically, very cleverly, they've added a Bluetooth system to allow you to use a game controller for things like, what would it be, pressing the whatever buttons, the C1, the C2, etc. Buttons that are available, so you can switch between this and switch between the sort of live view and camera view, etc. See something, it's just those little things that they've thought about, and they've done really well with it. I think it's a good idea to look at the whole picture and go, yeah, we need that. That needs to be, installed or fitted on the app. Just the eyepiece, we've done that. Move the live view image, we did that. Move the second picture in picture display, we did that. Configure the flight data views, you can drag things around. Switch between metric and imperial. I wish I'd have read that before I went out in the field. And again, it tells the Phantom 3 standard can be used if you are going to have, if you're going to use the Bluetooth controller. And they do recommend you use the Sony Xperia ZX Premium. It's a 4K display in theory. Unfortunately, Sony decided that the usable resolution for third-party apps is locked to full HD, so you can't use 4K, even though it's a 4K phone. You can, however, use it. There's some tweaks available, and it's all in the instructions here. I won't go through them all. You can use standard FPV goggles if you want to. You would use those, I suppose. Let's have a look. If your smartphones have high resolution, some non-VR goggles. Let's see, it costs around. You can replace them by switching to the VR mode. Right, so you can just basically use the goggles slid in without using VR mode. But what else have we got? Development beta mode, which I'm about to become a beta tester. Set background images for screenshots, and development. Oh, you can show the CPU load if you want to. Disable the 3D effects. Is available in the developer options menu. Right, so you need to be able to enable developer options if you want to, and then legal information. That's a very extensive help menu. Really pleased with the development team at Cavu for producing such an in-depth help menu. So let's look at the Cavu FPV for DJI Go 4 drones, which includes the Phantom 3 standard, which, as I say, did surprise me. Normally apps like this require you to plug them in. Is it worth buying? It's 11 quid. It's a no-brainer. This is definitely going to be my go-to FPV app.